What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Why We Love PlayStation VR. Sitting across from me this week and every week, he's King of all VR kings, Soap Kings, Witching King. It's Jeremy King.
Ooh, the Witching King.
I
like that.
Second.
Yeah, nice.
Slid it in. No one even
Hello.
knows.
Oh, that's not a compliment, though.
Not
yourself.
a compliment.
Yes.
Nope.
And sitting next to me, that I would know if he slipped in,
Wow.
is Brian Paul.
Every week on Why you don't have to clap. They can clap at home if they'd like.
I like that.
Maybe I'll edit in an applause track.
Yeah, just do the cat scratch.
We're not doing
box.
that.
We'll think it's clapping.
Every week on Why We Love PlayStation VR, we dip into the PSVR archive. We pull out a game at random.
Very random.
Sometimes it's a super old game. Sometimes it's a super new game.
Yeah.
We did something a little bit different this week.
Yeah.
This is a game I wanted to have a review out months ago for, and I just haven't had time.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? Let's just blast through an episode of Why We Love, so we can tell you guys how good this game is.
Sure.
That being said,
Yep.
what game did we decide to play this week? Check.
Witching Tower.
Witching Tower VR by Daily Magic Productions, released on September 17th, not that long ago, 2019, for $19.99.
Yeah.
Dude, Daily Magic Productions is an interesting little story. You go to their website,
Yeah.
just tons and tons of mobile games.
Okay.
And then for their PC games, it's like hidden object games.
Oh, really?
Dark Dimensions seems to be like their big one. I don't
Never heard of that.
I don't play these,
Yeah.
but there was just like a whole series of Dark Dimensions this, Dark Dimensions that, and they also make tabletop board games and casual card games.
Really?
Yeah, this seems to be their first VR game.
Wow. They need to have like a little corner booth at That's Entertainment.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, totally.
Kind of the whole story sort of reminds me of Tin Man Games, who made Table of Tales.
Okay.
Because again, they were doing this whole other thing, and they were like, I bet we could make a cool VR game, and they did it.
Nice. Yeah.
What kind of game is Witching Tower VR?
Puzzle action adventure. There's definitely puzzles, and there's some action. I don't know about much adventure. It
there's
is
some adventure.
a little bit of an adventure go on, I guess.
If you go on the PlayStation Store,
Yeah.
it calls itself a VR action adventure.
Oh, there you go.
I don't agree with that statement. I agree with your statement because it is 100% a puzzle game.
Oh, yeah.
More above and beyond anything else.
Yeah.
Right? And for it to not say puzzle in the classification, the genre,
Yeah.
is misleading.
Oh, yeah, totally. Because that's the main beef of this fucking dinner.
Since you brought it up,
Yeah.
my main beef
Let's hear it.
of the game
Yeah.
is the action part of this.
Okay.
I kind of want to get this out of the way.
Let's do it.
Right? Most of the enemies you encounter
Yeah.
are either flying bats,
Yep. Bats.
rabid dogs,
Hounds. Yeah.
and
Hellhounds.
then later on like some soldiers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Other like
Skeleton.
yeah,
And other.
demonic
bigger-
possessed
Yeah.
opponents. Mm-hmm. But man, all the combat just feels so tacked on.
Oh, wicked.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
there's
like they
not
made
much
this
strategy.
whole puzzle game, and they were like, something's missing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's throw in bats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Says
And you're just like. And
yes,
killing them.
and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Right? Because we played Golem,
Yeah.
and that combat's really effective.
Oh, yeah.
This, you got a torch in one hand and a bat's coming at you, you go, boom, and it just, like, oh.
Down. Yeah.
And on top of that, I don't feel like the sound was ever accurate. It never told me where the bats were, how many there were, which direction they're coming from.
Yeah. Nothing.
Every time I killed a hound, it kept making noise after it died. I was like, wait a minute, is there another one? Oh no, that one's just whimpering to death.
And how many times would you get hit and you're like, what's hitting me? There's
Yes.
nothing here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Except the crates, silent. Break as many crates as you want, not one sound.
oh, okay, because the barrels make some sounds.
Yeah, not the crate. They just,
Interesting.
that's it. I don't know how many I broke,
Yeah.
and there was no sounds. Maybe it was glitch. I even restarted the game to see if the sound would come back. There was no sound anytime I broke a barrel
Interesting.
or crate, whatever you call it.
All of our complaints about the battles aside,
Yeah.
which I should probably mention though, that with the bigger enemies,
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a little more effort to kill them rather than just a boom.
Yeah.
But it is very waggle-like.
It is very waggle.
It reminds me of any Wii game that had like
Oh,
hand-to-hand
yeah.
combat.
Yeah, just like, hit him as many times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, on the PlayStation Store, they describe this as, they say, quote, fight your enemies with your blade, parry their attacks, and unleash a flurry, maybe it's a
Flurry.
of devastating counterstrikes.
It's like how you make a McFlurry, just
Right.
mix it all up.
Dude, so after reading that, I said, well, I got to go back into this game and play it like they want me to.
Let me parry.
I tried to parry, I tried to block. It did not feel good.
No, you can't.
Why would I do that when I can just go boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
kill him?
Can your blade? Because I did not once attempt to even try to block it because nothing happens. It doesn't block any kind of sword swing, correct?
All of my attempts to block or parry
Yeah.
just felt very inconsequential. I don't know if he wasn't hitting me or if I was successfully blocking or parrying.
Yeah.
But it wasn't golem like where it just like ricocheted off my blade and I was like, yes, I
could
got him.
feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing.
I think he waggled me. I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
So here, okay, I want to get that out of the way right away.
Yeah.
Because despite the fact that we have a lot of complaints about the combat, I'm glad it's there.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Because I really do think the developers made an awesome puzzle game, and then at the end they said, yeah, we need just something else to give them something to do while going from puzzle to puzzle.
Well, not only that, sometimes some of the puzzles while you're interacting with them, enemies can come through. Like there was a certain time you were raising that bell that was stuck on and the bats would come through so you'd have to like keep cranking it and be like, it's like doing this.
Right.
Because you had to be like crank and then be like waggle, waggle, waggle.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do solve a puzzle with one hand and kill enemies with another.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anytime I saw one bat,
Yeah.
I would hit it and then immediately look for another bat because they never come solo.
It's a buddy system when they go out.
Definitely a buddy system.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes a triplet system.
They do. It's like 2 or 3.
Yep.
Done.
Yep.
Never a solo bat.
So keep an eye out.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really describe anything about this
No.
game. Kind of like a medieval.
Definitely medieval. King Arthur, I would say, in that realm. I thought I saw King Arthur's name on a plaque here or there.
I think you're right. Yep, absolutely. But with obviously a magical setting.
Yep.
You're not just swinging torches and swords.
No.
What else are we doing?
Well, you have this weird tether thing, almost like Bullet. Remember that game, Bulletstorm?
I do remember Bulletstorm.
And you could grab the things and throw them. So you got this weird thing that's like from Bulletstorm.
It's like a lasso or a tether.
Something, a tether.
Right? You can, and you always know what you can lasso or tether onto.
Because it's got the Sims green jewel like hanging from anything that you can hit.
I mean, I don't know how you incorporated Sims into this discussion, but you nailed it.
And you grab it and you can tug and put, and it's implemented in puzzles and in combat. So there's certain enemies you could, take out from breaking apart whatever they're standing on. But again, it's obvious where and what you do to do it.
Well, you'd mentioned earlier, sometimes you get hit and you don't know where from.
Yes.
And sometimes there's an archer just like way up in the balcony somewhere, and you're like, well, I can't hit him.
Yeah.
And then you notice there's a green thing right below him. You're like, oh, I can pull the whole balcony down.
Boom. Later, sucker. Yeah.
And I think just like the puzzles, it's all just a little too obvious.
Yes.
Right? It feels good to do.
Yeah.
It's very satisfying. The puzzles are great and satisfying to solve, but then you do it and you're like, that was a breeze.
Yeah.
Like, just give me a challenge.
Well, I found it awkward how they made certain puzzles painfully obvious to solve them, how to do it. Yet they didn't explain shit when it came to, like, anything. Like when you first started playing the game, they told you how to move, and teleport. And then, that was kind of it. It was almost like, where am I here? What am I trying to do?
Yeah.
It took me a little bit to figure out in the very beginning. I can't even remember what it was in the very beginning.
Where it was the wall of arms that you're trying to get past?
Well, the wall of arms. They didn't tell you about the bombs to blow up the bombs.
Right.
They really didn't tell you when you find those spirits that are kind of frozen in time. I don't know what the hell. And they need a certain object that needs to be burned in that blue type of a flame.
Yeah.
They didn't tell you really
Are you
much.
sure?
Maybe they did, and I wasn't listening.
Yeah, it was all text. It was like one of those things where it pops up on the screen, and it's like
that
very tutorial-like, and you're just like, oh, can I just skip this? And you skip it.
I skipped it.
What did I miss? And that's another huge element of the puzzle solving. And again, it's all very obvious, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
There's a spirit, and the spirit is missing something.
Yeah.
And it's basically blocking your way or blocking your access to a puzzle or a door or something.
Yeah.
And until you bring the spirit or burn the spirit's missing item,
certain object,
over the blue flame,
yeah,
they won't go away.
Yeah.
And so you have to solve the puzzle.
And it usually blocks your path or blocks something you need to interact with to continue on.
Right. And my favorite thing about some of these items you need to burn is that they're gigantic.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? You're just walking around this like medieval dungeon with a giant painting.
Picture, yeah.
Right? Just like, oh, no problem.
Yeah.
Yep, got it right here.
Oof.
That's right.
Burn.
Probably worth millions, and you're like, yeah, just got it right here. I'm going to burn it now.
I want to go home. My only way out, burning art.
Right.
Yep.
And I got to say, I think my favorite thing about Witching Tower
Yeah.
is the inventory system.
Yeah, that was pretty neat.
How well does that work? This needs to
Right?
be implemented in every single game.
Yeah.
So early on, you find some kind of pouch,
Yeah.
right? And you equip it on your left hand.
Yeah.
And then anytime you want something, or anytime you want to put something away,
Yeah.
you grab it from the environment, you put it at your wrist.
Yeah.
The pouch will like light up yellow, I think. And then it'll just disappear.
Yeah.
And then when you want something from the pouch, you reach over, you click the trigger on it,
Yeah.
and it brings up this whole
Yeah.
menu, and you just grab what you want. And
That's really neat.
Yep.
And it's got this like rope attached to the little sack because you could take it off and hold it over here.
Yeah.
And grab what you needed and keep it open at times and like swing and hit somebody and put it back.
Put it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt very natural.
Yeah, it did. It was really neat.
Yeah, I would kill
all
for an
that.
inventory system like this. I mean, man, what were the recent games I was playing? I think, like, remember, was it Paper Dolls
Oh, that was awful.
that brought up the cubes?
Yeah.
Just like, crap, what was that other one?
What was the other one before it? Was it not?
Weeping Doll.
Was it?
Anyway,
Maybe. Yeah. There was
Yeah.
a horrible one.
horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one visually it was really neat too.
Yeah.
You know. But again, with some of the puzzles and some of the pieces, like there were chains laying around, they'd be highlighted kind of gold. So you're like, I think I need that.
Right.
So you just grab the chain and let go of it, and it automatically would just go into your inventory.
Right.
Just hear the sound. It's like, yeah, that went into my inventory.
Yep.
So then later on, you see hooks, and you're like, oh, those chains. Click, click, done. Now you can raise it up. So the puzzles weren't challenging, but they were neat. You know, I liked them.
Right. And if you get stuck for more than 2 seconds, you could push a triangle on the right move controller,
Yeah.
and that brings up detective vision.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, if you don't know what to do, it'll just highlight it and be like, go do this.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
It's got waypoints that'll be highlighted, you know?
Yeah.
So
Which,
it's pretty
again,
neat.
it's neat,
Yeah.
but I just, maybe I needed more of a challenge.
Yeah.
Or maybe detective vision to not be so blatant about the solution.
Pretty obvious.
Yeah, like give me a nudge.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
give me the solution.
Yeah.
What's the deal with the floating skull that's following you around?
So I forget who the fuck he is.
I don't care.
He's kind of like you're the lady over the intercom.
Yeah.
As in every VR game, except this is a skeleton dude.
Right, we gave Gungrave a lot of shit for this.
Yeah.
But we really need to give Witching Tower and Mage's Tale and every other game that
All
does
of them
this.
that do it.
Yeah, we need to give them a lot more shit.
I'm trying to remember what game the talking skeleton was in, and it's a classic game. I can't remember. It's been killing me since.
VR game?
No.
They're not okay. No. I have no idea.
Pre-VR. This is an older one.
Whoa.
Yeah. It'll come to me. I'll remember. No.
Take all the time you need.
Not Grimoire.
Grim Fandango.
Grim Fandango. It wasn't in Grim Fandango, was it? Whatever.
I mean, I don't know. It's been a long time.
Yeah,
great
that's an old
classic LucasArts game.
Yeah.
But man, I don't really remember it. Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So I almost think we're all over the place. We're shitting all over it, and so to speak. There's some good stuff to this game, actually.
We are shitting all
Yeah,
over it, but
yeah.
but everything just kind of feels good.
Yeah, it's weird because it's a lot of shit,
Yeah.
you know. But I mean, I liked this game. I enjoyed it. You know, I liked the puzzles. I liked progressing up the tower. You know, I mean, I don't know. There was something about it I liked. I didn't like the.
You're like, let's shit on it a little bit more before
Yeah.
we talk about why it's good.
Well, they didn't implement lefty. I couldn't switch anything to left-handed.
Oh, that
So
sucks.
like my inventory, like, you know, was all like right-handed type of interactions. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Bow and arrow, I'd have to go like this to grab
So
my
you
bow.
could actually hold it with your right.
Oh, I
right
used to
hand,
switch things. I would grab everything with my left
But
and
it
then hold
wouldn't-
it back on my right.
but it wouldn't go into your utility belt.
No,
Where you wanted it.
over there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's a pain.
Yeah, it was a pain. They definitely didn't switch things for lefty for any of that. With the tether, you know, with the other thing you get later on. What is that? Oh, when you can control things and make them move around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a shift in gameplay when you get that thing.
Yeah, there was.
You
Yeah.
got to make your enemies solve puzzles for you,
Yeah,
basically.
which I liked. I thought that was pretty neat too. So they gave some variety to their puzzles.
It really mix things up.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I loved about this was that from the very beginning,
Yeah.
the whole world felt absolutely tangible.
Yeah.
And you pick up every single book.
Yep.
And none of it's relevant.
No.
Right?
The scrolls, I don't know why. Why wouldn't you grab a scroll? It would just disintegrate.
I would love to know that.
Yeah.
Right? And I have no idea. I thought there
I
might
was
be a
collecting
trophy
them.
for it
Yeah.
or something. Nope, nothing. Doesn't seem to do anything at all.
No.
No. And but because I didn't know what it was doing, every time I saw a scroll, I had to try to grab it, and then it would disappear.
Every time, yeah.
I was like, I feel like I'm doing something.
Yeah.
Don't know what it is.
It felt good to make them dissolve. Yeah.
Yeah, and even like when you pick up a book, there's footage of me like picking up a book and just like knocking the skeleton out of the way with it.
Yeah.
And just being like, oh yeah, move out of the way. I'm trying to
Is
read
it
this thing
because I
over here.
talk too much? Is that what he would say when?
Oh, the floating skeleton head.
Yeah.
Oh god. And so I don't know about you,
Yeah.
but he was always kind of just in the worst possible place.
Yeah.
So he's following you around, he's talking to you, he's giving you a little story tidbits, he's giving you a little bit of advice here and there.
Yeah.
And then you pull out a sword or the bow and arrow or a torch, and you accidentally you do something like this, and you go boom, and you'd be like, "What did you do that for?" I'm like, "I didn't even know you were over my shoulder."
Don't stand so close.
Right, get into my field of vision. Let me know where you are.
Yeah.
Something, man. Personal space here.
Yep.
Right. Just because you're a floating skull doesn't mean I don't need some
Right?
room.
Clearly, he pissed somebody off because he's dead.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's pissing me off, and he's just floating around.
He's just trying to be your buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could go without him.
Yeah. I hear you on that one.
Yeah. Nice graphics.
Yeah, the graphics are decent.
Right.
Not much for sound. Not much for music. You know.
It didn't seem to be a lot of that.
No.
Good sound effects, but yeah, I mean, if there was ambient music, it was very, very subtle.
Very. Yeah.
And I will say I feel like I can't figure out why I like this game because all I'm doing is complaining about it.
I know it seems like a lot of complaints, which we are.
Between stages,
Yeah.
like it'll fade to black, and then it'll fade back in, and you'll be somewhere else.
Yeah.
And like, oh man, I really wanted to have this like continuity of the world.
Yeah.
Where like it's obviously not an open world. It's a very, very linear progression. It's just
It is.
You're walking down a corridor from point A to point B. Sometimes the corridor is a staircase.
Gets a little
or
bigger
room or
as you
whatever.
progress.
Yeah.
Past the library, it got pretty elaborate with their puzzles and the areas and the rooms. So
Yeah.
they eased you into it. It was very small in the beginning, and then it started getting incrementally more challenging and more rooms to look through.
Yeah.
It's awkward with all the complaints that I still liked it because they would respawn you if you died in the worst possible place all the time. There were times I would respawn and be dead instantly because they started me in that blue flamey orb where you weren't supposed to go until you freed somebody.
Yeah.
Or with the 3 bats and I had no weapon, so I was trying to escape the bats. This happened in a big time. I was getting bows and arrows shot at me. I couldn't reach my bow and arrow to hit these fucking 3 bats soon enough. I couldn't reach them. Their accuracy was incredible, but they have the high ground, So I could give them that, and I did nothing but try to respawn, die, and keep moving further away from where they kept. I don't know. The respawn points were awful.
I'm trying to remember dying in this game. And
I died because of those respawn issues so many times.
I don't remember dying.
Yeah.
I may have played this entire game without dying.
Wow.
Yeah, because you're talking about it, I'm like,
I might have died
I don't even
18
remember.
times.
wow.
Oh yeah, from who's hitting me to like bad respawns. To one point, actually, there was maybe 4 or 5 deaths I can attribute solely to the fact that my sporadic waving of the weapon did nothing to kill these bats. It was not detecting any of them.
Wow.
I rage quit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because that's how many, and I was like, why don't you fucking die? And it was nothing. They would not die. No hit detection.
And how long did the whole game take you?
A little under 2 hours.
Under 2 hours.
Yeah.
And you died 17 times.
Oh, I probably very close to that.
I swear it took me like 3 hours and I never died. I don't know. Man, I don't know what you're doing, but you're killing it. I feel like we haven't said anything good about this.
No.
But sometimes a game can do enough right and give you a good enough feeling where all these complaints that were lining up
Yeah.
don't matter all that much.
Yeah.
Strange.
It is.
Because I don't feel like I loved the story here. I will say that later on, when you're like when minor spoiler for like the next 20 seconds.
Yeah. Block your ears.
Yeah. When you meet the dude who's making all the traps,
Yep.
and you're like, oh, okay, this is cool. It's like meeting Jigsaw.
Yeah,
Right?
really.
You're like, okay, now it's like the world kind of comes together at that point.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay, that all kind of makes sense. And the
Yeah.
story, I think, does get better from that point on.
Yeah.
Spoiler over. You're good. Okay, good.
Yeah.
But I mean, I didn't feel like I was playing it for the story. I thought the puzzles were really well done. I didn't think the combat was all that great. I think
Yeah.
the world was pretty good looking.
Yeah.
But it really didn't. It didn't do a ton of new stuff.
Yeah.
But it still satisfied me.
Yeah.
This is the weirdest review discussion we've ever had
I
because
know, it is weird.
I don't know why I like this.
Yeah. I mean, some of the things they did get right. Graphics.
Graphics.
The puzzles. I enjoyed the puzzles. They made sense. Like, you had to do this to do that to do this.
Yes.
I like how at one point, the skeleton dude's like, oh, look over there to see the key out the window in a certain puzzle.
Yeah.
So you had to tether it to you, and grab the key, and so you can unlock the door to get out there. But they had the voice recordings.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, this is medieval time. How are they going to have a voice recording? But they had the skull thing you could press down in this box. The box would open, and it would show like almost the music box circular thing with the, and then it would spin and say what the recording.
Yeah.
I thought that was neat. You know what I mean? They fleshed out the story in the world. They made it exist with the technology they had at the time.
True. True. Like, here's an audio log that there's no possible way it could exist, but we made it work.
Yeah, and it's like, all right, I'll buy that.
Yeah.
I like
I'm
how
along
they
for the ride.
Yeah.
It's magic. Everything's enchanted.
Right.
Make everything work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like how they had bombs that you would need to take the torch and light them, and you could throw them.
Again, very tangible world.
Yeah.
That works.
You could pick up the weapons that the enemies dropped and use them as weapons as well.
Yep.
I like that they gave you the bow and arrow. So they had a variety of stuff to combat with. I wish... Now, did you have to use a regular DualShock to have regular motion in this?
No.
No? It would be still...
So, requires 2 move controllers.
Yeah.
You do have the option for click turning, for smooth turning, for full locomotion, for teleportation, for everything.
Yeah.
You just have to go into the menu by pushing the start button on your left move controller, and that gives you all the options you need.
I only did teleportation. Yeah.
I don't know if I would have liked it so much with teleportation. I did at the end of my playthrough today.
Yeah.
When I was replaying it for this discussion, I switched to teleportation because I was like, I don't often do this.
Yeah.
I generally just play the way I want to play, and then that's the way I talk about it. But I was like, we're talking to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And some of them can't play with full locomotion.
True.
So I did play with teleportation. I lost interest pretty quickly at that point.
I didn't mind it.
It's like, okay, this isn't...
You cover a lot of ground because you could teleport pretty far, so, and it was pretty quick.
Yeah.
I didn't mind any of the combat. I didn't mind any of that. I dug how visually you could see the thing tethered to you. You could see the belt around your waist, too. So all that kind of stuff they got right. And it made me deal with the stuff that pissed me off, like the hit detections being completely wrong, getting hit from enemies that you cannot see or find, being reloaded and respawned in terrible areas, and having it not really explain too much when they over-explain other things. Climbing, I wish they used more, too.
Climbing, tremendously underutilized.
Like, once, maybe?
Yeah, right at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, and that was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought, ooh, this is neat. It was very much like Immortal Legacy with that climbing.
Yeah.
But they used it, This game is like, oh, yeah, we forgot about that after the fact, when the game was sealed and gone.
Interesting.
But yeah, so all that said and done, I liked it.
I think we need to rate this.
I think we do, too.
What's our rating scale?
All right. Oh, hunger.
Yeah, I wonder if they could hear that.
Yeah, I wonder if you could hear Jeremy's stomach growl. Number 1.
The stomach growl was on our end.
Yeah. Excuse me. Oh, I'm getting old.
Yeah, no, we knew that.
Right?
We're all getting old.
Number 1 is, stomach growls. You're hungry for this game.
Oh, wow.
Go out and get it. Number 2, it's a snack. Maybe wait for it to be on sale. Don't go buying it yet. Just wait. You might enjoy it better when it's a reduced price.
If it's on the dollar menu, go
Number
get it.
3, you eat this shit, you're going to fucking puke.
Wow.
Leave it. Yeah.
That might also relate to the dollar menu.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah,
Very
yeah.
possible.
All right. So with all that being said, Brian, what did you rate this?
This is really, I think, the definition of a 2. Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
just an absolute classic definition of a 2 because we've got a ton of complaints about it. I feel like if the developers, spend some more time with it, like I think the one patch we got was for like a French language option or something. Like it wasn't anything significant as far as gameplay is concerned. If they spent the time and really, if they implemented the fight your enemies with your blade, parry their attacks, and unleash a flurry flurry, I don't know how to say words, of devastating counterstrikes, if they implemented that and made it, work like the way they're describing it.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, combat's more fun now.
Yeah.
Right? If they had fixed the sound and I knew where the bats were coming from.
Yes.
Instead of just like
Some above you sound. You
right.
know?
Some kind of I feel like they didn't nail the 3D spatial audio.
No.
It's broken, I think.
Yeah.
The dogs are dying and they're not just whimpering to death, they're growling still.
Yeah.
And you're like, every time, and I killed 100 dogs in this game. Every time a dog was dying, I still went, where's the next one? I heard it. Oh, wait, no, that's the one that's still dying.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like he's dying.
No.
It sounds like he's ready to attack.
Well, he's the undead.
He's yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
The hound from hell. The
hellhounds.
There,
Yeah.
nailed it.
They guard supposedly vampires, right? Well, they guarded the vampire in the Lost Boys.
Lost Boys.
That's for sure.
I knew we couldn't get through this without an 80s movie
It's a
reference.
classic.
Classic.
I still believe the saxophone dude is still like the highlight of that movie.
That actually, yeah.
You know, it's
like,
so
he's
funny.
all like greased up and stuff. He's just like shiny and just playing saxophone.
Ripping on a
stage.
saxophone and
Yep.
belting out tunes. You know, I gotta rewatch that. It's been like a year. It's like one of those movies you see every so often.
Yeah.
The Frog Brothers.
I could definitely watch it every year.
Yeah, it's great.
That's a one.
That is a
That's
total
a one.
one. Lost Boys.
But so I don't actually need too much more to make this game a one.
Yeah.
It's only $20.
Yeah,
It is short,
it is very short.
but I'm kind of okay with it. I enjoyed what I played.
Sure.
If they fixed the combat and made it actually feel like combat, and they fixed the 3D sound, I would probably give this a one.
Sure.
Those are all the things I need fixed.
Yeah.
Sounds like you need a few more things fixed.
Yeah, just a few.
What would you rate this?
So I'm with you. Definitely a 2.
Yeah.
Because I enjoyed this, and I would definitely have given this a 1 if it wasn't so wonky.
Very wonky.
Yeah, because again, with the sound, all the same things you had issues with. I had a few more issues, but not too many. With the hit detection being off, the respawn points. But I liked the combat, even though it was flaky. You know, it still was there. It added an element to the game.
Sure.
You know,
if it was just wandering around solving puzzles,
you'd be done in a second. It'd be
Yeah.
boring. Because it stressed me out at times where I was like doing certain things, and then enemies would come, and I'd be like, shit. And I liked how you could use your inventory and keep doing things with the puzzles.
Yeah.
They felt real. They felt tangible, like you were there. It didn't feel like you were playing a VR type of game.
Yeah.
Like that big table with those locking things, and you had to spin around and unlock the things.
Yeah, the thing that was underneath the bell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that shit was great. I really dug it, you know. So again, solid 2, but if they just tightened up some things, I would give this a 1, you know, because the price was not bad. You know, for as broken as it, I would give this a 1 now if this game was $10. I would say for $10, I can deal with how broken it is because I like the story.
Sure.
But double that price, yeah, you're getting it too.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I'm with you. That is a magical price point for this until they fix it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, overall, still surprisingly good. It does feel different. We were a little concerned this was going to be like a mini Skyrim,
Yeah.
right?
Not at all, though.
Not at all.
No.
This tells a very specific story. It has very specific puzzles it wants you to solve. It's very linear.
Can interact with the environments more in this one than you can in Skyrim.
Yeah,
You know?
it does feel good to pick things up and throw them.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things to do in VR.
Right.
Yeah.
Can't do it in real life without getting yelled at, so you might as well do it in VR.
I do it here. No one seems to complain. It
Yeah,
just makes the apartment messy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, I might straighten it up a little bit, actually.
Slowly getting cleaner.
It is.
Slowly. Don't tell anyone though.
No,
We don't
I-
want to ruin the illusion.
Yeah. Of chaos.
Yeah. That's it. I think that's another episode of Why We Love PlayStation VR. Obviously, we want to know what you thought of Witching Tower VR. Did you find the combat satisfying to any degree? Did you manage to block, parry, or defend at any point?
If so, please tell us how.
Yeah, or keep quiet. We don't care.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
We're done with this. We won't think about this game again.
Time to move on to the next
Yeah,
game. Also,
next one.
speaking of which, what other games do you want us to play?
That's right.
The list is long. It keeps getting longer. Man, we got some good ones ahead, though, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Stay tuned
This week.
this week.
For another episode of Why We Love PlayStation VR. My name is Brian Paul,
And I'm Jeremy King.
and we'll see you.
Next week.
That's right.